So what'd you do? You just plugged in, you told it to go, and or you're doing the gas, or it's doing the gas?
I'm doing nothing except.
So what'd you have to do to kick it off? Just said go?
I gave it a destination and told it to go.
All right.
So is it treating it like Google Maps, or is that a special map?
This is a custom map we've made for this situation, but we can use a variety of different map sources.
Okay.
So you defined a maximum speed you wanted to go to, the path it wants to use to get somewhere.
Yeah, we've defined a maximum allowable speed for, I guess, each kind of region of this map. And so we're going to try to optimize speed, as fast as we can go in that portion, as long as there's no obstacles or things going on in our path. So further in the demonstration, you'll kind of see what happens when things do interfere with that top speed. Yeah, we've got all sorts of stuff to...
So does it also recognize that it has multiple lanes to work with, and it can optimize that way, or is it mostly on a one-line path?
So there's a bunch of different ways that we can do that. For today's purposes, we've actually kind of broken this into 2 lanes going 2 different directions. Just because we can't... The way this highway is set up, we have to do a U-turn and go back. So it's different from just like the way the road would be mapped in a normal day-to-day situation. I've also programmed it to slow down, like I've lowered the speed limit here and a little further up.
Yeah, there's a pedestrian.
Yeah, looks like he's lost. Poor guy.
Poor guy, does he stay out here this whole time?
Huh.
That's hilarious that he's looking.
This is map, I think.
Yeah.
So it is following it, knowing.
Yeah, we can pace off of a slow-moving obstacle, and once he finally gets out of our way, then we can proceed. So still kind of a lower speed scenario up here, but then we're going to take a quick U-turn just so we can get back, go in the other direction.
And it's doing that.
Oh yeah. All I'm doing is talking your guys' ears off.
Huh.
There you go.
And so just to clarify, it recognizes or does not recognize the markings on the ground?
It has awareness of the
markings.
But we can override that. So like when we need to do a U-turn, it's not conflicting with lane keeping or anything like that.
Okay.
But you had to manually tell it that it had to ignore it, right? To do that path.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in other words, we know who to arrest or charge if there's a criminal activity. Completed an illegal action.
Right. So I guess if it was on the road, it would find a place where it is legal for it to do that. It wouldn't just randomly do U-turns.
Yeah, and so this is a very different situation than I guess like if you were driving on this expressway on just a regular Tuesday. We had to kind of create this map so that it was a loop more so than a linear thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, so now this is kind of the adaptive following.
Yep.
So we're not going to make any alterations when he's moving at our same speed, but once he starts slowing down, we're going to slow down to pace off of him. And then he'll move out of the way, so we'll accelerate back up to 50.
Now, we made that decision based on radar data, much like an adaptive cruise control would?
Yeah, we have radar and LIDAR for object detection, and we can get good distance and speed measurements.
But it's not a vehicle-to-vehicle communication in any way?
Oh, no, this is no VDAX at all.
Okay.
Question, some vehicles nowadays do have that adaptive cruise control, and some of them are running into issues where say there were two cars in front of you, one of them decides to move over, car's like, cool, I now have space, but then it doesn't recognize the second car in front of it. So it does a jump, accelerating, and it slows down immediately. Is there a way for you to kind of recognize that, or your sensors to recognize that, if it's food for thought?
Yeah, that's a really good point. We haven't run into those sort of issues, but it's definitely, I'm sure, as we move into higher volume testing and that sort of thing.
And LIDAR has a little bit further distance than the radar is an ultra wideband. It's got a shorter distance, whereas, and that's what's on your car today is an ultra wideband radar. But the LIDAR has a much further distance, and it can map it out a little bit further at least. So maybe it'll reduce that a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, vehicle-to-vehicle communication would ultimately solve that entire issue,
Sure.
because the vehicle would know that two vehicles in front of it,
vehicles, right.
it's slowed down. So.
I have a question.